Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be interviewing Anthos, Antonio.
Hi guys.
How are you?
Me? I can't lie, today's been very long, but I'm happy. Yeah.
How is it getting here actually? Because I'm sure you said you came from the Midlands, isn't it?
Yeah, I came from uni today. Like I came straight from Nottingham.
Mm-hmm.
So then I took the train to Nottingham, and then from Nottingham to London. I came here.
Wow.
Yeah.
Midlands. I'm sure you've been hearing all the stuff that's been going on in uni with people shooting fireworks and all that crazy stuff.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
I think the people shooting fireworks, the fact that, because the one thing about university is that for you to get into university, you had to pass your A levels, you had to pass your GCSEs. So you are clearly good people. For you to get that far in life, you're clearly a good person. So then for you to go to uni and start doing this nonsensical stuff such as throwing fireworks, I think it's quite bummy. I think they're quite jobless. And I pray they do change their ways, because this can't be the same people who have their lifestyle funded by the government doing illegal activities.
By SFE.
Literally.
As in you're using the government's money to go buy fireworks to shoot at each other.
Literally ask them.
It's honestly, it's hilarious. But hey, I've got a few just icebreakers just for us to break the ice and stuff. So just some random funny questions. What type of person are you? Coffee or tea?
I like tea. I've never actually drank. I've tried coffee, but I didn't like it. Like I felt like it was too bitter. But yeah, I'm a tea person.
Yeah, I'm not a coffee person. Sorry, I can't do it. It's too much. What type of person are you? Early bird or night owl?
Ooh, early bird for holidays, night out in general in the UK in general.
Fairs. Why do you think that?
Because for some reason, I just feel like the best way to start a holiday is by leaving in the morning. For some reason, I would just have energy. By 5 a.m., I'm up. I would go to bed at like 12 a.m. But by 5 a.m., bright and early, I have energy. But in reality, if I'm not working or if I'm not going to uni, I'm waking up at a solid 2 p.m., 3 p.m.
Have you noticed, like, when you're on holiday, it's like time doesn't even exist. It's like, I don't know what it is. I could just go to bed at like 5 in the morning, wake up the next morning and just feel so energized, so refreshed. But in this UK, it's another day.
Do you know what it is? I feel like the only negative thing I see about holidays is the fact that all of a sudden time wants to move fast. All of a sudden, there's no longer 24 hours in a day. Like 24 hours in the UK is not the same 24 hours once you're in a different country. It's like 10 minutes.
It's not. I'm telling you.
Literally. Like the minute you get there, you're already taken off to come back to the UK.
It's true. I'm telling you. Are you a pet person? Do you have pets?
No, I don't have pets, but I want to own a pet.
What pet?
I want to get a dog.
A dog?
Yeah.
So you're more of a dog person than a cat person?
Yes, I find cats quite demonic. I think black cats are very demonic. I've been chased by a black cat. I've been chased by a dog as well.
Yeah.
I've been bitten by a dog. However, I feel like the reason why a cat chasing me was more scarier was because I felt like cats were not supposed to be chasing people, especially black cats. So, yeah.
So what type of like dog person are you? Like Chihuahua, small one, a bulldog? Like,
I want a golden retriever.
What's that?
A golden retriever is like they're very cute when they're like the puppy version. Yeah. They're very cute, and then when they grow up, they become like a very healthy. I don't know how to explain it, but a golden retriever is just like a golden brown dog.
Golden brown dog.
Yes.
I'm trying to imagine, guys, what that looks like.
It's a normal dog, but it's just brownish.
It's very golden.
Golden brownish. Yeah.
Wow, that dog sounds amazing. What's one thing that you can't live without that you have now that you just can't live without?
Most people normally I would say my phone, but after losing my phone in Dubai, I had to pay to get that back. It's not my phone. I can't live without.
Hold on, you had to pay to get it back?
Yeah, I got blackmailed £100 to get my phone back in Dubai.
Huh?
Yeah.
Okay, how did this happen?
Basically, on the second night of Dubai, me and my friend, we've got back to the hotel because we went jet skiing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the evening came now. Let's just say limits were tested, and I failed completely. So obviously, in fact, I take it back. It wasn't the day we went jet skiing. It was the very first day, like the very first event we went to. We went jet skiing the next day, but the very first event we went to, I had a strawberry daiquiri in the restaurant. But then when I got home, I had more than I could handle. And then by the time I got to the second event, I didn't make it to the second event because apparently I was sleeping in the cab. So they took me back to the AP. But on my way back to the AP, my phone must have dropped.
Yeah.
However, we didn't know this at the time. So long story short, when the cab driver was trying to get me out, I threw up in his taxi.
Hey.
But the reason why I didn't believe I threw up in his taxi is because I feel like if I threw up in your taxi and you're saying all that came out was basically like, it wasn't even the drink, by the way. I had CR in the restaurant that I was at. So it was just the CR.
Yeah.
Not
Spicy
even
vomit.
just spicy. Like, literally, he said that the vomit was brown.
Yeah.
I said, yeah, that's the CR.
Yeah.
But long story short, he said that at first he said that, oh, my phone wasn't there. Like my phone wasn't in the taxi. When we asked him, we thought another person stole my phone because when I was trying to go back to my apartment, I went to another person's apartment, and apparently I wasn't leaving. But that's what I was told anyway. And the reason why I'm saying apparently is because from when I like threw up, I couldn't remember anything that happened next. I just woke up in my bed. But yeah, the guy then said, you know what, he took my phone. So my phone didn't fall out, like I said. I just assumed my phone like fell out my what's it called, my bag. But no, the taxi driver had it. He held it so I could pay him to get it back.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So rule number 1, kids, make sure you can handle your drink.
Bear in mind, that's never happened before.
Wow, that's a
That's
serious
never
situation.
That's never happened before. I don't even think it was the drink. I think it was the CR. Because even when I had the CR, my belly was burning.
Is it?
Yes, that's why I had the frozen drink, the frozen strawberry daiquiri to cool me down. Normally, I would have Fanta, but the Fanta there was even too warm because Dubai is very hot.
Yeah, it's very hot. Yeah.
It's a very hot country, and I wanted something frozen, and that was the only things that they were doing. So I said, yeah.
Wow.
But yeah.
What a life. I mean, we live and we learn. These things happen sometimes.
Yeah.
These international people, I'm telling you, I even have some stories in Morocco. The way they can bump you and yeah, it's dark. The way they live there, it's dark.
Yeah.
So on the topic of food,
Yeah.
forget vomiting, but what's one food that you would say like, it's like, this is a food that makes me feel
Great.
so amazing?
I'm not gonna lie. Actually, I'm stuck in between rice and stew and lasagna.
You can't go wrong with a place of rice and stew, man.
You can't.
You can't.
Rice and stew is so easy to make, so accessible, and it just slaps every single time.
Exactly.
So yeah, normally some people would be like, oh, jollof rice, but jollof rice, I've had a couple bad jollof rice. I'm not gonna lie.
Wait, hold on. Which country?
The best jollof rice I've had is Ghanaian. The worst jollof rice I've had is Ghanaian.
Oh, okay. I thought you were gonna say Nigerian.
No.
Okay.
I've never had bad Nigerian jollof, not once. So that should
Nigerian
even answer
jollof
your,
is better, guys.
yeah. That should answer your question. But
Yeah.
the best jollof rice I've ever had was Ghanaian. I couldn't even believe it. I could not believe it. Obviously, because I literally that same year as well, I had bad Ghanaian jollof rice as well. Like I had a really bad one. So the fact that the next time I ate it, I even thought the person was Nigerian. But when they told me they were Ghanaian, I said, what?
So what do you have with some wache, some stew?
Watch here.
Hey.
Yes, and shitter on the side.
Hey.
Yes.
Shout out to Ghanaians, man. Can't lie. It's nice. I like Ghanaian food. Ghanaian food isn't nice. Can't lie.
Yeah.
Boy, so we're heading into the winter seasons now. Which would you prefer, summer or winter?
Winter.
You prefer winter?
I love winter. I love spring. Because obviously you didn't say spring, but spring is my favorite season. So from like February till like June, love it. But after spring is winter. I hate summer.
Damn.
I completely hate summer. I like traveling to hot countries and coming back to the UK when it's cold, so it cools me down. Number 2, I feel like the UK has like a good Christmas spirit.
Okay, fair enough.
Because in the UK, I feel like when it comes to summer, there's only so much you can do. And number 2, the hotness is disgusting. It's not nice. It's either too hot or it's raining and the rain stinks.
Yeah, true.
Like it's very acidic. Like it doesn't smell nice.
Yeah.
But no, I prefer winter.
Fair enough. I don't even know what I prefer because sometimes I like the whole winter vibe, you know, listening to K-Trap interlude. It just kind of got that just nice, cool vibe. But then sometimes summer, it's just like, I just need the heat. But I hear what you're saying because sometimes it's nice to fly out and just experience heat somewhere else. Maybe we don't want to experience the heat here because the heat here is just...
But do you know what it is though? I think the heat is perfect in May and June. When it starts to get sunny, like it's hot but it's windy.
Like it's cool, like it's a
cool breeze.
Yeah.
That's the one. Like that's why when I talk about summer, I'm even talking about June, July, and June, May, and beginning of July.
Yeah.
I feel like once you get to the midpoint of July, all the way till like
August,
not even August, September. September's hot.
Yeah.
Because I remember going back to uni. I went back to uni this year in shorts and a top. That's how I knew it was hot. You're probably thinking I went back at the beginning of January, not January, September.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's serious. Okay. Sweet or savory?
Savory. I would rather have like a chicken burger than something sweet.
Wow. Fair enough.
Yeah.
What's one song that you will sing along to any time of the day?
Oh. Ew. Oh, that's a hard one. That's a hard question. Remorse Interludes by Demi Muller.
That's a good song.
I love that song. The first time I heard it a year ago in the summer, it's so beautiful. Just the right amount of time as well. Not too long, not too short.
And I think about the days when I went home. Yeah. That song's a banger still. I like that song. Quite like. City life, or would you rather live in the countryside?
City life.
You prefer city life. So you wouldn't want to live somewhere that's kind of countryside but then travel into the city, or you would rather just live in the city?
I would rather live in a place that I can commute to the city. Okay,
so then that means you can live in like Devon or something and just travel here.
Live where?
Devon.
What are we talking? That's not. No, I thought you meant like that's too far. No, I thought you meant like Chelmsford or like Essex.
Yeah.
If I was to stay in London after uni, it would have to be Essex.
Fairs.
Literally, or furthest. If I have a car, then I can do Devon. Maybe Northampton and Milton Keynes and Luton. But until I have a car, I'm not doing anything further than Essex. Yeah.
Fair enough. What's your favourite way to relax after a very, very long, productive day, such as today? Because you said you even had a very busy day today.
Eating while watching Netflix. In particular, currently Prison Break. That's my one way of relaxing. And number 2, reading the Bible, actually.
Is it? Fair enough.
Yeah, but one thing I've realised is that I need a new Bible because I actually don't understand. I mean, I understand New King James, but because I read what's called the AMP on my phone, and because it's easier, I use my phone more. But then what tends to happen is that because I'm reading 2 different versions,
confuses you.
Confusion.
Yeah.
I need to probably buy an AMP Bible.
Yeah. I think sometimes it's good to just scroll through the different translations, just get a feel for, you know, what different things mean, different words mean.
Yeah.
What actually alters in your brain as well. That's what it's all there for. Honestly.
Literally.
Would you say you're a funny person?
I mean, I talk and people laugh, and I laugh at my own jokes. So I would say kind of, yeah.
So you would say you're funny?
Yeah.
So obviously in life, you know, when life begins to get hard and stuff like that, you know that humour, laughing, is a very like important part if you want to remain healthy mentally as well. So how would you say like remaining just a happy person has kind of like benefited you in life?
I feel like one way I've realized that I wouldn't say I remain happy all the time because that would be me lying. But I feel like one thing that does help me push through is the fact that God generally wouldn't put me through something that I couldn't handle. And number two, I just feel like everyone's going through something at the end of the day. Like, it's not just me. Like, I don't feel alone in the sense of like, yeah, cool, my situation might be different, but everyone's dealing with something. Like, at the end of the day, life is not easy. Like, whether it's tomorrow or next year, you can have an issue or you can be going through something, but it's not a thing where like you should allow it to stop you from achieving your dreams and your goals and your aspirations. Yeah.
I completely agree. So when you have like, when you face these setbacks and challenges and stuff like that, what's the one thing that you kind of think to yourself to remain like level-headed and to actually remember that, okay, this thing is happening, but I need to remain confident, I need to remain happy, I need to remain positive? What's one thing that you use to continuously remind you?
One thing that I use to continuously remind myself is the fact that when these things do happen, I'm not going to sit here and cap. I feel the emotions. Like, I let all the emotions I'm feeling about the situation out, because if I let it stay inside me, it will just keep boiling up until one day something small can literally happen and I just burst out for no reason. So I just generally, I'm not gonna lie, if I feel myself wanting to be upset about the situation, I allow it to happen. If I feel myself not caring about the situation, I stop caring. Like, I'm just the type of person, like, I just go through all the emotions I need to go through, and then once I've done that, I keep it stepping. Because if I don't do that, then it will just build up. Yeah.
Would you say you're a strong person?
I feel like based off the things I've gone through, I would say that I wouldn't want anybody else going through it. So I would say I'm a strong person only for that reason.
Yeah, that even leads me to my follow-up question. So would you say like what you've gone through or what has happened in your life has kind of shaped you to become like an extremely strong person, to the point where other people, even like myself, can look at you and be like, wow, like, damn, this girl is really strong. I think it's good sometimes to always remember that, like, even when you face difficulties and challenges and stuff, that there's a bigger purpose, that not every circumstance is permanent, that even whatever's happening right now, it's always to build your character, to make you stronger, to make you the person that you're going to be, to shape you. And I would say that that's basically what's happened with you. Like, would you even ever imagine yourself as a child being an influencer on social media?
I don't even see myself as one, so
you're an influencer.
I'm being so dead ass. When people say this to me, I literally laugh in their face. 'Cause I'm always saying like, what are you actually talking about? Like, I literally just yap. I literally just talk on the internet and continue on with my day. But nah, I feel like I always wanted to be on TV, like generally, but I didn't want to be an actor. I hope this made sense. Like, I didn't want to be an actor, but I wanted to be on TV. And then obviously, but I wanted to be myself. Like, I didn't want to play a character. And then I must have gone on YouTube and I saw people doing exactly that.
Yeah.
They were literally posting their lives.
Yeah.
And continuing on with their day. So then I just started to do that.
Like Stratford YouTubers and stuff.
Yeah, you can say that.
Are those the people that you used to watch when you were younger?
I used to watch them. I used to watch Nella Reyes. I used to watch Mazes. I used to watch Leo's Choice, MS London. There was so many like them. Yeah.
That's really good, actually. That's really good.
Oh, and Renee as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So who was like the most influential person in your life whilst you were growing up?
That I watched religiously had to be Renee.
Is it?
I'm not even gonna say her like if it wasn't no, in fact it was Nella Reyes. If it wasn't Nella Reyes, it was Renee. And if it wasn't Renee, then it was like I would watch the Stratford. I don't want to say the Stratford YouTubers, but like
you have to.
I knew of them through like I know of them through like that area. So Stratford. So yeah, there's that as well. But yeah.
Fair enough. So obviously, now that you're a social media influencer and stuff like that, how do you think you can also use your platform to kind of influence and like inspire people, should I say, to almost be confident, to not feel a certain way about being themselves on social media, like expressing themselves, not wanting to fit in with a certain aesthetic so that they feel a certain way. Like, how would you?
I feel like the problem with, not the problem, I feel like the one problem they will figure out eventually is the fact that when you're posting on social media, if you're posting for other people, you're not going to get far in the slightest. Obviously, I'm not where I want to be now, but one thing I will say that pushed my whole, like, identity, my whole, like, view differently was the fact that I genuinely stopped caring about what people thought about me. Like, seriously, because when you're posting on social media for other people, you will find yourself trying to fit into that aesthetic. You will find yourself doing things that you never wanted to do, but because you saw other people doing it, you're doing it. Because they're going viral, you're thinking, okay, because they're going viral and they're doing it, me too, I can go viral. And I'm not going to sit here and lie. Yes, it will work, but at the end of the day, is that something that you want to portray on social media into, like, do you want to portray yourself as something that you're not, if that made sense? So I feel like one thing I would say is that I want people to know that if you do watch me, or if you do, like, come across my page, like, any time between now and many years or many months to come, I just want people to look at my page and be like, oh wow, this girl really does not give a heck about anything, in a sense of like, oh, this girl can literally come on social media wearing a bonnet and talk, or this girl can literally just be doing anything and she's still posting it, and be like, oh wait, why? Like, because one thing I've realized about social media is that they portray like a narrative that they want you to follow, and it's not until you break out of that narrative that's when it will be a thing of where, like, once you break out of it, the world is literally your oyster, literally. Yeah,
Couldn't be further from the truth, because obviously in this generation you've got the boys that want to fit in with an aesthetic, you've got the girls that want to fit in with their aesthetic, soft life, like the whole lifestyle aesthetic and stuff like that. And like, even like, I'll see like my little sister who's only like 12, like I can see certain habits that she's picking up, and I'm like, it's getting worse. Like, the pressures are pushing down on younger kids.
I've literally heard in secondary school, one of my cousins that are in secondary school, she was telling me about getting her wig laid, lace front, bust down. I'm not gonna sit here and cap and be like, I wouldn't do the same. If I was in her generation, I probably would be wearing a wig. But even prime example, when because I cut my hair in year 6. I've cut my hair multiple times, but I feel like the one time it did shape me into the person I am today was year 6, when I had to go into secondary school with like no hair in the slightest. Like, I was completely bald. I could have easily worn a wig. I was even told, why don't you wear a wig? But every time I was told this, I always even asked myself, why am I wearing a wig? Like, I don't care that much. Like, who am I impressing with this wig? I'm not saying people wear wigs to impress people, but back in secondary school, I did not care for, like, I didn't care for that. Obviously, I don't care for it now, but it's a thing of where, like, I wear it because when you look good, you feel good. Even though that shouldn't be a good even though it shouldn't be even though it's not a good mentality, it is true. Like, if you generally look good, you feel good. But no, back in year 7, that wasn't on my mind. My mind was just to get my GCSEs and get out of that facility. But no, I feel like right now it is getting worse, but it's their generation at the end of the day. Honestly, if that makes sense.
It's the reality that we're facing right now. So would you say that kind of you having this viewpoint that obviously you want to make people feel comfortable in their own skin, is that something that drives you? Like, it makes you passionate to continue posting, to continue showing people that they shouldn't care about what they're posting and how they're perceived on social media? Because at the end of the day, you're yourself. At the end of the day, everyone who's watching you, okay, they watch your content, they go about their life, so they don't actually care. So it's just like,
that's one. I promise you, that's one thing I realized as well. Like, one thing I realized is that, these people are literally just watching your videos, and then they're going about with their own day, the same way I'm watching their videos and I'm going about with my own day. Like, it's not disrupting my day. So why the heck am I going to let something that's not disrupting my day affect me in any type of way? Number 2, me getting dragged on social media on countless occasions. One thing I've realized is that people don't like different. They pretend to like different, but in reality is that they don't like different, because in their heads they're like, but I've been told, like, I promise you, with regarding girls anyway, I don't know about boys, but regarding girls, they feel like for you to blow up on social media, you need that soft girl lifestyle. You need to have money, you need to have racks, you need to look good, you need to just have design, or they think that you need to look the part. But in reality, is that no one actually cares, man. That's just the real reality. And number two, I feel like the validation, like I feel like by you posting on social media, if you are generally allowing people's views about you to change your day, that basically means you're chasing validation from people that you do not know. People that you would there's probably a 99.9% chance you probably won't see them. And at the end of the day, number three, it's coming from people that don't know any better. Because at the end of the day, I don't know the people who are violating me's age. Like, they could be 14. Like, it could be people that don't know any better. Number three, like, you could easily go argue with the person dragging you, but at the end of the day, now that you've argued with them, what have you gained? Have you not lost nothing but time? Because even me, I'm not even gonna sit here and cap. There'll be days where, like, I will catch myself responding, and now I've responded to that person. We're going back and forth. A whole hour has gone past. I could have done something good in that hour, but because I was going back and forth with a person that I've never seen in my life, I've wasted that hour. Even worse, I've been in situations that have dragged out for days, like a week, and it's a thing of where, like, I will think to myself, like, do you know what you could have done in that week? And you're out here responding to people that don't like you, and bear in mind, people that don't even know you at that, not even, and it wasn't even a thing of where, like, I cared about their validation. It was just a pride thing. I think one thing I realized about me getting dragged is that I don't actually care about what they're saying. I think it's more of a pride thing, because I feel like if I don't respond, I'm accepting what they're saying. That's why I generally respond, not because I care, not because what they're saying is affecting me. I just don't, because I've been in situations of social media, like when I was younger, when I was in secondary school, when I was getting bullied, I didn't respond, and they continued. Even when I told the teacher said because there wasn't CCTV in this facility, they couldn't do anything about it. So because I was dealing with that when I was younger and I wasn't responding, I felt like, okay, maybe now that I'm going through the hate again on socials, maybe this is a reason, like this is a sign to respond. But one thing I realized is that whether you respond or whether you don't respond, the outcome is still the same. I'm still going to feel the same way. It doesn't change anything in that sort of sense. And that's when I realized is that I think that was the day I realized that by me trying to, like, care for people dragging me on socials or people dragging me in real life, one thing I, like, came to my senses was the fact that at the end of the day, it means nothing. Generally, it's just words. I didn't die from those words, as you can see. I'm still here today. Like, those words did not kill me. Like, it's just words. Honestly, generally,
that's important, isn't it? Because it's just like sometimes we as human beings, we always feel the need to want to justify ourselves, like, especially before people that don't even matter. So whenever someone has an accusation or something to say, the first instinct is like, I need to defend myself. What are people going to think about me? People are going to think, especially as boys, like, people are going to think I'm a neek, I'm a victim, I'm not saying anything. People are going to think people just trampling over me, blah, blah, blah. But it's just, even when I think to myself sometimes, just like, are you worth my time? I don't know you. You're just speaking. You're not worth my time. And this is why even what you were saying about the aesthetic as well, that obviously girls want to live up to this aesthetic, like this soft life aesthetic, etc. And it's a thing where, like, someone can have this thing on the outside, this amazing beauty and beauty standard, money, etc., lifestyle, but what's within them is just disgusting. And it's only once you get to know someone like that and you see that, oh, what's within them is just they're not loving, they're rude, they're arrogant. It's like, so what's all this lifestyle for then? So I think we live in a generation where everyone is just so concerned about their outside appearance, the outside, that they forget that it's what's within you that matters the most.
And do you know what, one thing I have realised on social media, I watched a TikTok about it, and I didn't want to admit it to myself, but I think one thing I have realised about social media as well is that people think it's a quick money-making scheme. I saw a TikTok about it because at the end of the day, cool, people are posting on social media just because, but then there's other people, they generally love making people angry, and they know one thing about social media is that they love hate. They love hating. Whether we like her or not, people can lie to themselves, lie to their moms, lie to their dogs. They love hating.
Rage bait.
They rage baiting, that's the perfect word for it. They love hating, they love negativity. So it's up to people I wouldn't say it's up to people, but one thing about me is that I don't want that to be, obviously cool, I get dragged, but I don't want it to be a thing of where like, every time someone drags me, I'm responding, because that's me spewing more negativity. Like, I'm not making it any better. I'm just adding more negativity to the negativity that's happening. Because everyone gets dragged. Yeah, cool. It might not be like to a certain extent, but it happens to everyone. That's why I can't even sit here and be like, it's just me, because it's not just me. That's why I would never sit here and be like, oh, I'm the only one, because I'm not the only one. I've seen people get dragged way worse than me, but I feel like it's just a thing of where like it's how you adapt to the situation, honestly. Because at the end of the day, people that do want to post, they could potentially deal with things like this, and it's up to me anyway, in my eyes, and other people, in the sense of like, we have to let them know that yes, cool, things like this do happen, but you shouldn't let it stop you. If anything, you should let it motivate you. Yeah,
it's true. You know what? One of my biggest examples as well, because I'm a Christian as well, one of my biggest examples is that, like, obviously Jesus being the Son of God, like, when everyone was accusing him of blah 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 and stuff like that, him having the power to save himself from dying, he didn't do that. In fact, he was just silent. Everyone was saying this and that, like trying to accuse him of blah blah blah, this and that, and him being literally God in the flesh was just silent and just said nothing. But it was the resurrection, it was what happened in the end that proved him to be right. So I take a lot of inspiration from that, in the fact that when people say a lot about you, accusations wise, they see, like, they judge from the outside because they're humans. They judge from the outside, they say this and that about you. Okay, cool. My instant response is, okay, I need to speak up for myself. I need to talk. But in fact, no, let me just remain silent, because at the end of the day, it's what is being produced within me that will manifest on the outside and then prove them to be wrong. Do you understand what I'm saying?
like when people do me dirty or when people drag me on social media, the first thing I think of is not, like, they're a terrible person. The first thing I think about is what type of life choices that they take for them to be spewing negativity in the world. Because the only way for you to be hating on someone, or the only way for you to be insulting someone, is because you yourself are getting insulted. Like, whatever someone gives to you in the world, you obviously pay it out. But one thing is that some people haven't broke out from that cycle, in the sense of like, oh, just because someone is violating you doesn't mean you need to violate them back. Yes, cool, me, I have my moments, people will violate me and I'll violate them back, but overall I don't do it on a regular basis. It's not like you're gonna sit on my social media page and see me reacting to every single hate comment that I get, because if I did that, I'll probably would be here forever. Like,
we'll go insane.
Literally, you will literally go wild trying to do that. So one thing I have realized is that people go through life. People have gone through life choices that's made them cold-hearted. That's made them nonchalant. That's just made them not to trust anybody. That's why, or even like hate on people. Like, maybe there's someone that they were nice to that was rude to them for no reason. So now they do it to other people because it happened to them. So in my eyes, I just feel like until they break out of that cycle of because you've been done dirty, doesn't mean you have to do other people dirty, then it's just going to continue. So that's why I can't sit here and be like, even though they're beautiful on the outside, their heart must be dark on the inside, because at the end of the day, something made their heart turn dark. Like, there was life choices in their life that made them go be that way, because no one is ever born into the world with a dark heart. Things make their heart dark. Yeah.
It's true. And notice, this is matters concerning people that we don't even know.
Yeah.
So in terms of friendships, like you especially, like when you were growing up in your friendship group and stuff, how do you like discern what friends are actually there for your good and what friends are just there to just kind of just be there, just not do anything?
Do you know what it is? I feel like regarding me and friends, I've realized that friendship groups aren't for me. Like, when I make friends, it's mainly on a one-to-one basis, or at most 2 of them will already be friends, and I will come and speak to them, but I wouldn't make it into a trio. Like I wouldn't be with them all the time. It's just a thing of where like I've met both of them at the same time coincidentally. But no, I've realized regarding me and friendship groups, I don't like friendship groups. I genuinely don't like them. I feel like they're good. Like you can have great friendship groups. Like my sister's in a great friendship group, my brother's in a great one. I have a couple other friends, even the friends I've made on a one-to-one basis, they have good friendship groups. But I feel like because I've been in situations that's made me realize friendship groups are not for me. That this is why I'm saying that. I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh, friendship groups are bad, because they're not bad. This even links back to what I was saying before with the whole everyone goes through different choices in life for them to act differently. If I was to tell someone else this now, they'll probably think I'm insane for saying this, but generally friendship groups are good, they're nice, but you can be in some bad ones for you to turn around and say, you know what, I don't want to be in a friendship group ever again. So that's what happened to me, kind of. So I wouldn't even be able to answer your question in a sense of like, how do I know if someone in a friendship group is this or that? Like, because I generally stopped doing friendship groups like 4 years ago. Yeah.
So obviously, when we were younger, we were quite like naive about life. We thought life was just some fairy tale. We thought life was just gonna be easy, gonna make money, have a car, do this, la di da di da da. As we get older, we begin to see the real world for what it is. Like, people are wolves in sheep's clothing. Like, it's a dark place. So how would you say like your perspective of the world has kind of changed over the last couple of years as you've been growing up?
I think, if anything, one thing that, you know what, one thing that I would say that my eyes have like changed differently is how like people, like how I've seen people use other people. I've never seen it like live. Like I've never like ever been in a situation where like someone has used me to get to somewhere until like uni. Like I've never ever been in a situation like that. So it's just more of a thing of where like when I was seeing, like, obviously, because one thing for me anyway, one thing about me is that I didn't realize how dark the world was until I got to uni. Like, if anything, I feel like I was still seeing the world through rose-tinted glasses until uni, because even though I was getting violated in secondary school, I always told myself it was secondary school, and I kept it stepping. I used to even think that when I got to uni it would change, but I just didn't know it was like a monkey eat, monkey do world. Generally.
What would you say like your advice is to the younger generation are starting to go to university or about to go to university, in terms of what you've seen, what you've experienced? Is there any like words of advice that you can give them?
I feel like if you actually don't need university and you want to go for the experience, do not go, because number one, you'll probably have a friend that actually needs to go to university and they will be in the Midlands, so you can go see them. This is just regarding the Midlands. Number two, if you actually, like, if your course does not need uni, like if you can do your course through an apprenticeship or anything, doing good. Because I feel like the only reason why I went to uni and a couple other people went to uni was because of our parents, in that sort of sense. Like, part of the reason why I went to uni was the fact that I felt like I needed a break from London. Number two, I wanted to find myself. Oh yeah, another thing as well, uni is a good place to find yourself, because I won't sit here and write. Two things will happen when you go to uni. You either graduate and you realize the course that you ended up doing is something that you don't want to do, or you graduate and you love the course that you did so much and then you find a job in it, or you drop out and realize uni is not for you completely. So one thing I would say is that you do tend to find yourself in uni, in the sense of like you will find your path, but I feel like you shouldn't pay 9k each year to do that. I feel like there's other ways to find yourself. But regarding the people who are already in uni or go to uni, I would say that people who are already in uni, you guys know how it is, in the sense of like, you know that there's days in uni that there's going to be days in uni where you just sit in your accommodation and cry because it's just so lonely, and not in the sense of like you're by yourself, just so like like you're waking up another day, another lecture, or another day, another something, so you'll just start crying due to that. I'm just saying that with uni, it's not as big as what people make it seem to be. If anything, I feel like there's other paths to your careers. There's other ways you can get there. You don't need to go to university to get there. I feel like if anything, uni is very old-fashioned. It's becoming old-fashioned in a sense of like, you don't need uni unless you want to be a doctor or a lawyer or something that requires uni. Because I can't name all the courses because I don't know all the courses that need uni. But what I'm saying is that if you've done your research and they're telling you the best way for you to become something big in that career is for you to go to uni, then go. Who am I to tell you not to go? That's why I wouldn't sit here and be like, don't go uni, because why the heck would I say that knowing me that's in uni? But yeah.
You know what, what you're saying is deep, because there are some people, I know people who grow up in African or very cultured households, there's a huge emphasis on university. Like, you must go uni. If you haven't gone university, you're a failure. Like, some people genuinely go through that. So it's a thing where it's like, how would a child growing up in that type of household where they may want to experience freedom and life outside of living at home, how would they kind of go about it? Because for them it's like, oh, like, I don't have to go uni, but I want to go uni because I just want the freedom, even though they don't necessarily need it. But because of the type of household they've lived in, and also maybe their parents or family members are forcing them or saying, you have to go uni, otherwise, like, you're a failure. Like, what would you say to those type of kids?
I think, if anything, kids in those type of situations, I feel like if you want freedom, you have to take it. So yes, uni is the best way. I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, they should still firm that household. If it's that bad for them. No, if you want to go to uni and that's the type of household you're living in, go to uni. So, because it's a thing of where, like, once you know how it is to live by yourself, two things will happen. It's either, number one, you hate living by yourself, so you will go back home, or number two, you love living by yourself, and you will end up literally saving up to rent a house before you graduate. Because at the end of the day, a course in uni is 3 to 5 years, literally. So within those 5 years, you can probably save up from first year. If you're smart with your money and you work, you don't need more than 5 years to save up for a house anyway, in my opinion. Anyway,
please save your money. Don't spend your SFE on just drip with things that don't even matter. Please save your money. Please, I'm begging you guys.
Oh yeah, 110%. And don't spend your SFE on rentals as well, please. And then also, if you're on your last £10 and your friends talking to you about motive, don't go. That used to be me in first year.
Is it?
Yeah, I'll have like £20 in my. No, I would have. There was a time I had like £11 in my bank account in first year, and there was a mate in not Wolves. I used to go to uni in Wolverhampton, but there was a mate in Birmingham in first year, and obviously I loved being in Birmingham. I don't know what type of toxic attachment I had to Birmingham in first year, but it was so bad to the point where I would leave my clothes at my friends' home. And I would just go there without any luggage. Like, I'm literally just going to a home with no luggage.
Wow.
Because we will literally plan it. I'll be like, I'll come here on Tuesday, I'll leave on Saturday. It was so crazy. But all I'm saying is that, yes, I'll literally tell my friend, all right, but I'm on my last £10. She'll be like, oh, but what's it called? She'll be like, oh, but we're not spending money. So I'll be like, oh, I'm cool. That's what I used to. That's how I would go.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is serious.
Yeah.
You know what? Just to touch upon a topic that you said it, you mentioned a bit earlier about when you're in uni and it's kind of lonely and you're just kind of a bit down and etc. etc. How do you remain like happy in that type of environment when you're just by yourself?
I would pray, dead ass. I would dead ass pray. Like when I used to feel like that, I would pray. I would literally sit in darkness. I wouldn't even like. I would literally turn off the light, sit on the floor, sit on my bed and start praying. Like seriously, when I used to feel like that. And then once I did that, I would clean my room. And after I would clean my room, I would go out and do something. Every single day I've been in uni this year and last year, I made it my mission not to stay at home, even if I go for a 5-minute walk. Because what tends to happen is that once you get used to staying in your room for days, that's how it starts. That's how depression starts. That's how you feeling lonely starts. So one thing I would say that helps is the fact that praying works. I used to see my sister as well, because my sister used to go to uni in Nottingham. She's graduating now, and my brother is still in Nottingham as well. So I used to see them as well. I still see my brother here and there, and I see my friends as well in Nottingham. But yeah, apart from that, I always keep myself busy.
How do you... This is quite a thought-provoking question, but how do you define happiness?
Feeling content. Being happy doesn't mean being the richest person in the world. Being happy doesn't mean having a relationship. Being happy just means being content with your goals, or being content, just generally being happy with where you are. Not even, I can't use the word happy and happiness, but being happy, like the definition of happiness in my eyes is just generally feeling content with yourself, loving yourself, having confidence towards yourself, having self-love towards yourself. Because that's one thing about me. One thing about me right now is that I don't want to be the richest person in the world. I just want to have enough money to complete my goals. That doesn't require me to be the richest person in the world. That's the one thing people are failing to understand. Yeah, cool. You want to have the biggest house in the world. You want to have the biggest car in the world. Like, you can have all that, but you don't need to be the richest person in the world to have that. You just need to be in a place where you're financially stable. Like, I would rather be financially stable than be the richest person in the world, because even being the richest person in the world, I'm not even going to sit here and lie. For you to even get there, that means that no, let me not say that, because being the richest person in the world is still nice, yes, but it's just more of a thing of where, like, I just feel like being the richest person in the world, I just feel like once you know you're the richest person in the world and you're not content, like, it's just gonna get long. Like, I feel like the money will just disappear if you're not content with yourself. Like, you think Bill Gates, Elon Musk, you think those type of people were like, what's it called, are not content with themselves, because if they weren't content, you think they would still have stock still today. It would be gone, literally.
You just want more and more. That's why when it gets to a certain level, it's just like, how much more do you want?
No, literally. And I've even heard people win the lottery and finish their money in 2 weeks, bro. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, you can tell people who are content and who are not content. I've literally, like, seen on the news, people win the lottery and finish their money within a year. And you would think, how is that possible? But the thing is that the money blinded them. And that's why they threw it all away. Prime example, me in first year, the first time I saw SFE, I finished my SFE in a month.
That's dark.
I finished my SFE in a month.
That's dark.
Very first year of September, that September when I got to uni in first year, my SFE came late as well, because I had some issues with my uni thing, innit? Because I kept on changing unis. I was supposed to go to DMU even, but then last minute, literally the day I was supposed to move to Glassworks in Leicester, I told my mum, no, I don't want to go to Leicester anymore. I want to go to Wolves. I want to go to a quiet place. I want to go to a low-key place. I've now changed my uni. So because of that, because SFE had already confirmed Leicester, it took them about 2 months to confirm Wolves. Then when I got my SFE in October, end of October, I finished that same SFE within November. That same week, like the last week of October, I literally remember that week, like, clearly. And you're probably thinking, how? I paid my rent in Wolverhampton Uni is 3k a year, was 3k a year. Most people are spending like, what, 10k now. I'm paying 10k right now. I even miss paying 3k, but all I'm saying is that I thought I was smart by like paying my whole rent in one drop. I literally never did it again. But when I tell you that's how my money disappeared, it wasn't like I spent it on designers, or I didn't spend it on design or anything, no. I just thought I was being smart by paying it off in one drop. Then I ended up living on like tap water. And bear in mind, as I told you, I was still going to Maves, so I had a job. Like, I ended up getting a job.
Yeah.
Obviously, I ended up getting a job, but the job was supplying my uni Maves. It wasn't even like the job was going towards anything important.
Yeah.
But yeah.
You know what I'm taking what you're saying here, because obviously we make mistakes, we learn, etc., etc. But I guess discipline is a very important part, because you have to, just in life in general, you have to discipline yourself in certain things. Me personally, one thing that's helped with my discipline, even though I haven't really been going recently, but is going to the gym. I think that's something that's helped me a lot in terms of like making sure I just keep to a schedule of doing something.
110%. I go to the gym. No, generally I go to the gym more than uni, which is very bad. I see, because the gym is a 2-minute walk from me, and then uni is like, what? Nah, I would never walk to uni. Uni is like too far. I don't see myself ever walking there. But nah, I go to the gym quite a bit. If anything, the only reason why I use first year as a prime example is because after first year of uni, and because I failed first year, that's the thing. So I had to repeat first year. That's how bad I was in first year. Not in the sense of like, oh, I was a bad girl. No, I was just outside. Like, you see when people say, you see the definition of, people don't know how to act. That was me. Like, I'm not even gonna sit here and lie. It wasn't like I was even a beggar as well. Actually, I was kind of a beggar. Yes, like I felt like every single girl I met at a party, and she'll be nice to me, and I'll be nice to them back. They were automatically my friend. Obviously, I didn't know that's not how friendships work in uni. Like, I didn't know that even though you think they're your friend, you're not theirs. Cool. Like, I just felt like everything that was going on in uni, I was there. It was just so bad. Even in other cities as well. There was even a day I went to Liverpool. Bear in mind, I go to uni in the Midlands, and from the Midlands to Liverpool is like 2 hours away, 3 hours away. So it's just a thing of where, like, in uni, like, I just feel like from the way I used to act in first year and the way I act now, I feel like it's two different versions of myself in that sort of sense. But because it's a thing of where, like, now I'm more content. I feel like in uni, first year of uni, I wasn't content. That's the difference between like fake happiness and real happiness. In uni, generally in first year, I just felt like everything I was doing in first year of uni, I was only doing it because other people were doing it. That's what, one of the reasons why I even started talking on TikTok in uni was because I saw other people in uni talking on TikTok. So now I just started to talk, not because I wanted to talk. Like, generally, when I was using social media at first, there was no purpose behind it. I was just doing it because other people were doing it. Literally, I didn't think anything of it. Like, I didn't even think I could use it to this extent. Like, I didn't even think that people would come up to me and tell me, they like hearing like things that I have to say. I didn't even think it would get to an extent of where like people would want to take pictures of me, make videos of me. Like, it wasn't in the back of my mind. All I was telling myself was, since people want to talk about their uni experience on socials, let me do the same. Literally, that's how I even started talking on social media.
Yeah, why not? I mean, we all got influence from something or someone. It's just one of those things, like, we all got influence from something. And I think even what you're saying about university and stuff like that, and even the gym as well, I think whether it's gym, university, one thing I always say to myself as well, and someone told it to me as well, like, always prioritize discipline over motivation, because your motivation, you're not always 100% going to be motivated all the time. Your motivation is always going to be up and down. But if you're disciplined, then you're just going to always make sure you're sticking by that discipline. Like, the example that I always use is that, like, when we were kids, like, it's like babies, basically, we didn't know how to use the toilet or go to the toilet. But we had to get potty trained. And by us getting potty trained, we disciplined ourselves into going to the toilet. So, like, we don't ever think to ourselves now, am I motivated enough to go and use the toilet? But we go to the toilet because we've been disciplined to do it. So I feel like, imagine if the things that we want to do, whether it's gym, university, whatever it is, imagine if we just stuck by the same discipline and just continuously did it without, no matter how we feel about it.
Yeah, that's one thing I'm trying to deal with. That's one issue I've had this year, is that I used to allow my emotions to get in the way of certain things. Like, let's say there's something I need to do that day, and let's say someone has upset me that day, I will end up not doing the thing I need to do. Prime example, I had work. I had a job, a shift even. I didn't end up going because someone upset me that day. Because generally I felt like, why am I going to go to work knowing I'm going to cry when I get there? Because I've done it before. Like, I've tried to go to work while someone upset me and I ended up crying in the toilet. But I told myself, nah, I'm not going to do that to myself this time. So I think, if anything, yes, cool, it is about discipline. But I feel like there's limits to the discipline. I feel like discipline works with gym. It can work with church. It can work with hobbies. But I feel like when it comes to money, like something money motivated, I feel like it depends.
Well, as in, you think motivation, you need more motivation than discipline?
For money, yes. When it's money, I feel like you need more motivation for money, in a sense of like, you don't need to be money motivated, but for you to get through work, you can't think about what you're doing there. You have to think about how much money you're gonna get once you leave. That's what gets me through ever since I've been working since I was 16. I've been money motivated. I hated every single job I've worked at. Even the job I have now, I hate it. But because of how much money I'm getting, that's why I don't think too much about it. However, that's why I've also realized I don't think a 9 to 5 is made for me. Because even when I speak to people about their 9 to 5s, they generally feel happy, they feel content because that's something they want to do. In the sense of like, oh, they want to be a teacher or they want to be a lawyer, they're happy, they're content there. But me, every single job I've worked at since I was 16, I've not been happy. I've just been happy every time the check has come.
True.
Literally.
But then wouldn't you say that's as a result of your discipline to stay in the job even though you don't like it?
Yeah.
So
discipline,
in a way,
in a sense, but I've never stayed in a job for longer than the longest job I've had was McDonald's, and that was before uni. Like I didn't leave because of uni. I even left McDonald's because of COVID. And then after COVID, I got a job at Bubology in Stratford, and then I was working there until uni. But no, I feel like with what you're saying, it's you are correct in the sense of like it's still discipline, but I feel like the money motivation is more like 60-40.
Okay, so we can basically summarize they go hand in hand.
Hand in hand.
So you need both. So you need the discipline, but you also need the motivation to keep on pushing through the discipline.
Yeah.
In a way. Okay, I completely agree with that, to be honest. I completely agree with that. What would you say is like one of the toughest decisions that you've had to make in your life?
Yeah. Sugar.
We're going deep.
The toughest choice I've ever had to make. It was actually, I think one of the toughest choices I had to make was actually back in 2022, was whether I should repeat first year of uni or not.
Is it?
Yes. I sat in my room confused, thinking, is uni for you or not? Because I feel like it's one thing to fail uni, but it's another thing to think to understand why you failed. I realized why I failed. I failed because I was always outside. I wasn't even going to lectures. I think I went to about 3 lectures the whole year.
Wow.
Yes. So
wow.
When I look back at first year, I know I failed first year because I didn't try.
Yeah.
I felt like it would have been different if I failed first year and I tried. Like I genuinely tried. That's why I felt like that's why I repeated. But another reason why I would say 2022 was like was the year where I had to make the toughest choice ever, was the fact that I felt like that was the first time like I've been dragged on social media, because obviously I've been dragged in person, but it's very different on social media because it's on a wider scale, in a sense of like, yeah, cool, people will forget by Tuesday or by like in a couple of days, but it's still like a lot of people. Like 100 people could call you pretty, but if that one person keeps on calling you ugly every day, that one person's going to stick in your head more than the 100 people. Obviously, I don't have that mindset anymore. If the 100 people are calling me pretty, I'm obviously going to believe them over that one person's calling me ugly every day. But I felt like I was quite fragile.
Yeah, it sticks in your head.
Literally, I was the type of person I used to stalk my people that used to drag me on fake accounts. Like, I would literally make a fake account. I wouldn't even comment anything bad on their page. I would just want to know, like, I'll literally look at them and think, what is it about you that makes you feel comfortable to insult me? Generally.
Yeah.
But yeah, I used to actually have like a fake account, go through my own comment section and then look at the comments, the hateful comments, and then press the accounts. And yes, obviously I don't do that anymore. Yeah. Actually, no, you know what? Now, actually, no, I don't. I can't actually remember the last time I did it was actually 2 years ago.
Wow. Yeah. What you're saying is true, because there's something called a negativity bias, which is like us humans, like we're just programmed to always think about the negative thing that someone is saying about us, or focus on that one thing, rather than like someone can, as you said, someone can say 100 positive things about you, but it's the one person saying something negative that you're like, why are you saying something negative? And it's because it's in our nature to want to be perfect. Like, we want to be perfect. We want everyone to like us. We want to be flawless. We want no issues whatsoever. But it's just the acceptance that we're not perfect. We're flawed. Humans are flawed. Not everyone's going to like you. You can be the best person. People will still not like you.
Yeah.
Like, bro, Jesus did nothing wrong. People still hated him. So it's a thing where you could do whatever you want. You could do 100 good things, 100 bad things, wherever it is. People are still not going to like you.
Even the craziest thing is that I'm going to be so real. I feel like, I don't know about you. I feel like we're probably on the same wavelength, but I don't think I dislike anybody. Even the people that have done me wrong, I don't hate them. Like, if I was to see them in public, I wouldn't even screw face them. Yes, I would walk past them, but I don't know how to explain it. I would expect the people who drag me on social media to have that type of energy in real life. Obviously, with me anyway. If I've dragged you on social media publicly, if I was to ever see you in real life, I wouldn't. I don't know. I just feel like you should have the same energy that you have on socials.
Yeah.
In real life, that's just my opinion anyway. Regarding their hate, like if you hate someone, you should hate them in real life.
Yeah.
That's why I feel like I don't hate anyone, because I don't think there's a single person out there that I can tell you and be like, oh, like if I was to see them, I would scream and shout. No, I don't care that much, number one. And number two, I still wish them nothing but the best, because like you said, we're all, even though we're trying to be perfect, I feel like we still have flaws, but I feel like we can be perfectly flawless. Does that make sense? You can maximize your flaw and make it into something that could be the best thing about you. Prime example, my eczema. I could easily use filters. Let's not lie. I could easily use filters on TikTok to the point where no one would even see my eczema, to the point where you don't need to see it. But because I'm very comfortable within myself, and because I love myself, and I know because there's girls out there that have eczema, I don't need to do all that, because I know some people out there with common sense will see my skin and be like, oh, she has eczema. And even the ones that don't know what I have, I will tell them. Because I think the problem is that some people feel like I should be affected when people in real life or when people on socials ask me about my eczema. But I feel like God wouldn't give me something that I shouldn't be able to talk about. Because generally, one thing about me is that I love educating people about eczema, like especially people that don't know about it. So I like talking about it. I like telling them, okay, it's this. Like I've had it since I was a baby, and etc. Like I like telling them things and what I do to make it feel better. And if they have any opinions, I take it. Generally, I think the problem is that people always see it as like an insult. Not eczema, but like people always see like their flaw as like an insult, as like something bad towards their life. But at the end of the day, just because you see it as something bad doesn't mean it needs to be something bad. If that made sense. Like, yeah.
It's all about perspective at the end of the day.
Yes.
And even the things, circumstances that God gives you, all of it is it's like God can use certain things for his glory. Like he can use someone else just like what on earth? But they're thinking about it that way, but in God's perspective, it's a completely different thing. Do you understand? So, this conversation has been really deep. I can't lie. You've said some gems today.
Yes, we have.
One more question. What's your definition of true love in relationships?
My definition of true love in relationships, I feel like God needs to be in the center for there to be true love to begin with. Like, I feel like if you love that person, you should be able to live without that person. That is just the definition of it. If you feel like you can't live without that person's not for you. I feel like true love should be something that's an additional to your life. It shouldn't be your whole life. Because I feel like, generally I feel like true love is when you've met another person that's content, you've met someone that aligns with your goals, or met someone that aligns with your life, generally, and you could also live without that person. Like, let's say that person was to tell you, like, they don't want to be with you, it won't be the end of your world. Even though it will feel like it, cool in the upcoming days, at the end of the day, you shouldn't let that defy you, if that makes sense. Because obviously, when people think about true love, they think about not letting that person go. They think about not being able to live without that person. I feel like that's more of like obsession. And I feel like that's more of like the artificial way of love, in that sort of sense. Because what do you mean you can't live without that person? Like, you came into this world alone. So, and you're obviously going to die alone. Yes, you'll be married, but you're not going to die in the guy's arms unless you do. Cool, calm, vice versa with the guy. Like, I'm not actually going to die in a girl's arms. Maybe you do, maybe you don't, I don't know. But I feel like loving someone is when, like, when they're just aligned, like, there's no issues. Like, when you're together, there's no problems. Yes, there'll be problems in relationships, period. Mm-hmm. But even when you have problems, you will still come back to each other. Mm-hmm. Generally speaking, like, no matter how many issues you have, you're always coming back to each other. But not in a sense of, like, oh, they've cheated. No. I mean, like, situations that are not a sin, in a sense of, like, situations. Yeah. Just disagreements. Like, something like, we said we're going to do this today and then they didn't end up doing it. Something, small arguments like that, not like cheating. I feel like you can forgive cheating, but you shouldn't take the person back. Like, I feel like big things, like, cool, you can forgive them for it. Like, don't hold a grudge. One thing about me is that I don't believe in grudges. Mm-hmm. I believe in letting people go, yes. I believe in never speaking to people again, yes. But I don't believe in grudges because I feel like that grudge will turn into resentment. Mm-hmm. And then that resentment will turn into hate. That's how it starts. Mm-hmm. But, yes, I feel like true love is something that just needs to have God in the center, and your life should just be in line, and you should be able to live without each other. Like, you shouldn't, like, yes, you can rely on each other, but it's like you're two separate people in one, like, in one bond. I don't know how to explain it, but I feel like, I
understand. It's when two become one. So you've kind of united together as one union. Yeah. So you're not, even though you have two different minds and stuff. Yeah. Your two different minds will clash. Yeah. You'll have disagreements, but it's at the end of the day always coming together as one. Yeah. Literally. At the end of the day, that's what matters.
Literally, exactly.
Yeah. So you know what? I agree, and my personal opinion is that love is
sacrifice. Yeah.
It's almost putting the desires of yourself to the side to love the other person, to put them first. Like, as a man myself, me loving my wife is to sacrifice for her. And I feel like in this generation in general, love is just like this, oh, he takes me here, we go there, blah blah blah.
I think social media has, you're right. I think social media, some people have allowed, it's not everybody I know. Unfortunately, there's some people out here that have allowed social media to ruin their perception of love in ways I cannot even fathom. Because they will see something on social media, like they'll see a guy doing something for a girl, and then some girls will feel like because their man's not doing it for them, the man does not like them. Or vice versa with the guy. Like, guys will go on social media as well, they will see something. It's not like I feel like girls allow social media to affect their relationships more than men. I hope you're getting what I'm saying.
I'm understanding.
I hope you're getting what I'm saying. I feel like there's a high chance of a girl getting upset over something that she's seen on social media more than a boy. But when I say upset, I don't mean it in the sense of like it's something that she's seen that she doesn't know. No. Prime example, if a girl was to see her man liking a post of another girl that she doesn't know, she's letting that ruin her day. Trust and believe. However, if it was the other way, I'm not a guy, but okay, if your girl was to like another guy's picture but you don't know the guy, you wouldn't be upset, would you? You wouldn't care. Exactly. But with a girl, it's a different story. I'm telling you,
you're right.
I'm just telling you, I feel like men are more like, when it comes to like relationships, in a sense of like, same with girls. I feel like girls and men, we have different factors, but with the social media side, I would say it's the women. 110%.
It's true.
110% is the women. Yeah, men have their own attributes, but when it comes to social media, the women have got that.
I completely agree. I can't lie. I completely agree. You know what? This has been a very good conversation. It has. In conclusion, what's like just to wrap it up, one thing you just say to the audience or the people watching in terms of everything, just to inspire them?
I would say to everyone that's watching this very great podcast episode, I would say to you guys that you shouldn't let anyone dictate what you want to be when you're older. If you want to be a content creator, start posting today. If you want to be a lawyer or a doctor or even a football player, start today. Don't let society define who you are. Yes, people might not like you on the journey. People might hate on you today, tomorrow, next year. But you need to remember that you're doing something that they can't. Most of the people that are hating on you are people that are too scared to show their face. The fact that you're showing your face already is the fact that you're already beating them, you're already winning. Just don't allow their validation. Don't even chase validation as well. Literally, don't chase validation. And yeah, literally remember to love yourself, because once you have the power of loving yourself and God in your life, anything is possible. Literally. Yeah.
Perfectly rounded up the conversation. I appreciate you for coming. I hope you've enjoyed the conversation.
I loved it. This is my favorite podcast ever.
Is it?
Yes.
I'm glad.
Yes.
I'm glad. Guys, please go subscribe to my channel. I'm going to be interviewing more guests and having more interviews like this. I hope you enjoyed the episode. And yeah, we're out.
Bye.